A very warm welcome. Today we have with us Mr. Harsh Arora, who is the head IT at Hindustan Power. A very warm welcome, sir. Thank you for joining at CXOTV.
Yeah, nice to be in this interview. Country.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure to have you. And before we proceed further and discuss mainly around the power generation industry, I would request you if you can share some insights about how your journey has been so far in the industry. If you can share some insights with us, to the audience who is here to know.
Yeah, power industry, if you see, has been a critical industry, and but it was not getting its due worth or due importance. Means for many years, it was considered mostly a sort of infra, which was not in, say, like in IT industry, which was into limelight, right? Power was not that into limelight, but last few years, if you would have seen that with the demand growing, with the economy growing, the power demand is also growing fast, and there is a lot of focus by the government also to ensure that power availability is there with the is with all the is users are able to get continuous power. Industry is able to get continuous power. There is a lot of focus, and particularly the focus is there on renewable sources of energy. With the current government regime, which came, the on focus is on solar and other forms of renewable energy. So yes, power sector is now considered as very critical and important. In addition to not only power generation, but distribution also, if you see, has improved a lot, and the transmission losses have come down, and there is a focus on smart metering also. So, there is a complete focus not only on generation as well as distribution, so that the overall mechanism is is properly shaped up, and which helps the economy to grow. So yes, power sector has seen a lot of importance last few years.
Okay, all right. So, as you mentioned about how the power generation industry is actually going through the transformation, and when we talk about it, you have already mentioned about how renewable energy sources are being given so much of importance in this time. So, how do you think is the shift impacting from the traditional power generation, and what role does your organization play in this transition?
Okay, see, this transition to renewable energy is happening since long, but it has picked up with great momentum since, I think, 2014 onwards in India. Means if you see outside Europe and America, there was a lot of focus, plus Japanese market also, a lot of focus was there on renewables since long. But in India, it picked up, I will say, mostly since 2014, when the cost of setting up the solar power plants came down heavily, and a lot of focus was there. So a lot of capacity was set up in the renewable energy domain, and availability of energy is important for growth of a nation, right? And our organization understood this very early, and we entered power sectors in somewhere in 2008, and we were one of the early movers into solar power. We have developed many solar projects along the length and breadth of the nation. We means all across. We developed a lot of solar power plants, not only here in India, but we do participate in taking international solar power plants and revamping those also. So yes, it has impacted traditional power generation also, in the terms that if you see earlier, the contribution of traditional power generation, means like that of, mainly say, India was totally dependent on coal power earlier. So almost 95% plus electricity in India was being generated through coal-based power plants. The transition happened slowly, and we moved to hydro. We went to nuclear is not that much, but yes, renewable wind energy is there. solar energy is there. So that the portfolio is growing, and the percentage of renewable energy has grown over a period of time. So transition is happening, and it is traditional power sources, if you see, have been polluting nature. So there is a means worldwide push to move from traditional sources which are highly polluting towards renewable energy resources. So that say whether climate change or say global warming, that is pushing people to move from traditional power sources to the renewable power sources.
And it's also important for this sustainability as well.
Right.
Yeah. So, in terms of when we talk about there that with advancement in smart grid technologies, how do you think that the power generation sector integrating this digital solutions to enhance grid efficiency, reduce losses, and ensure a reliable energy supply?
Smart grid technologies have enabled to cut down transmission losses significantly. Using
Okay.
seamless integration with RLDCs of the power plant. If you see earlier, there was no integration, but now it is mandatory to integrate the power generation facilities with RLDCs so that regular monitoring, continuous monitoring is there of power demand and as well as supply scenario, means how much you are supplying to the grid, or what is the demand. So accordingly, you can take real-time actions to increase or decrease the power generation, particularly in case of, say, thermal-based plants. There is a lot of leeway which it can. And then secondly, long-term data analytics, it enables us to forecast demand much more accurately and ramp up or ramp down production accordingly, right? And so all these smart grid technologies have enabled grid availability. It has reduced number of faults which were happening, and it has also ensured better customer satisfaction in terms of power availability. It has cut down the losses also. So these smart grid technologies have benefited us a lot.
Okay. So, in ensuring this stable power supply, energy source storage as well as microgrids are gaining too much amount of importance. So, can you share some insights into how these technologies are being adopted, and at the same time their potential impact on the industry?
Yeah, see, microgrids are becoming more popular for particularly for commercial and industrial enterprises. They can help organizations become more efficient, resilient, and self-reliant. And major benefits of microgrids, if you can say, are to generate and store power on site. So, which helps, say, in case of solar, because you can't have uh, solar, you have only daytime power generation. In case of wind, it can be generated only when wind availability is there. So there is a sort of, you can say, means it is not, you can't schedule the production as per demand in case of renewable resources, which is there in case of which you can do in terms of say the traditional sources, coal-based plants. You can ramp up or ramp down, but you can't do this with the renewable resources. So microgrids help there. So it helps to sell excess power back to the main grid. It means you can become independent of the local utility. Means the organizations can become so, and it also helps to ensure a reliable supply of energy during periods of low production. So if the production is low, still you want to run your organization or your industry, it helps to do that. And energy storage also has its own benefits, though as of now it is costly. But we believe that, strongly believe that with the newer meanings of energy storage coming, it will become cheaper and will be more viable. So, if energy storage resources are taken, means in coming years, it will help to balance the power supply demand and between generation and load. And it will also reduce the adverse impact of wind generation, PV generation, means photovoltaic and other intermittent power supplies. It also will help to scale up connectivity capacity of renewables. In case of renewables, energy storage will help definitely. And it will also help the utilities, the distribution companies with means by storing energy, they can give the power based on demand. If you see, there is a thought going on to uh, means price the power based on the demand. See, when the demand is more and and the, then you can ask for better rates as compared to the times when the demand is less. So utilities can accordingly take is they can get benefited based on this. So yes, both these technologies help.
All right. So in this power generation industry, when we are talking about it, environmental concerns are a key driver. So, in that context itself, how do you see that this sector is addressing to the sustainability challenges, which is a big thing, and reducing its carbon footprint through cleaner energy sources and efficient practices?
Yeah, if you see these nowadays, these environment issues have become very, very critical. The pollution, global warming, climate change issues. So all these have are impacting the world like anything, and there is a huge focus towards sustainable development. So increasing natural calamities and changing weather patterns have alerted governments and citizens to look at means availability and judicial use of sustainable resources. So that instead of going for traditional, let us have which were means going extinct. Say instead of having petroleum based or coal based, and is using those resources and making them extinct, as well as those are highly polluting sources. Instead of that, going for sustainable resources. So power sector has adopted many techniques to reduce carbon footprint. If you see, if you see, we have been using in our thermal power plant. We started with electronic, that means installation of electronic precipitors in the chimneys, so that the pollution is less. Now FGT has become FGT flue gas desulfurization technique. So that plant has become mandatory. So right now our company is establishing a FGT plant within this, so that the pollution further reduces. Then we have been doing afforestation. We are helping to build forests around the community, around the plants, so that it also helps to reduce the. So this way, yes, a lot of means are there which are being adopted by the power industry to reduce and they are contributing towards reducing the uh, environment issues.
I think you have mentioned quite some good initiative taken on. I think it's more about the awareness and bringing these initiatives into the actions. So,
Right.
moving ahead, when we talk about this digital transformation, which is actually revolutionizing the power plant operation from predictive maintenance to real-time monitoring. So, what is your take on that, and what benefits do you think that companies realize from these
Yeah,
innovations?
digital transformation is the buzzword since last say 4 5 years, and yes, it has helped. If you see, all the organizations are on a digital transformation journey. The companies who are not doing that, they are falling behind in terms of competition, in terms of efficiencies and all. So particularly in power sector, the benefits which have been realized or we are realizing means it includes cost reduction of power production. It helps to improve the efficiency of the power plant, and the running timings have increased because of better data availability and analytics. So it helps to forecast breakdowns more accurately, and so that preventive action can be taken based on the requirement, not based on earlier we used to shut down the plant uh, based on frequency, right? Every year we have to do maintenance of this equipment, so we will shut it down. Every 6 months we have to do maintenance of that equipment, we will shut it down. So that used to, if whether it was required or not, we were doing it for preventive maintenance, or otherwise, what was happening that if we were not doing preventive maintenance on timely, then we were having breakdown. We were doing breakdown. Both of these things were hampering. the running of the or availability of the plants. So
Right.
analytics have helped to increase this. So and it even digital transmission has also enabled to have better security in terms of IT security as well as the overall security scenario of the plant. If you see, we have adopted means perimeter security solutions for our power plant. We have also adopted for our supply chain, whole supply chain. We have adopted GPS and CCTV real-time alert CCTV alert mechanisms, which help us to ensure that the movement is continuous and there is no pilferage on the way. So, a lot of digital transformation has helped us a lot in terms of improving the power generation as well as availability.
So, could you talk a little bit more on the top focus areas and the priorities that you see coming in the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, if you see, means the technology has been changing at a great pace now. If you see, a lot of things are coming up. A lot of there is AI, there is blockchain, there is IoT, and a lot of things are which are coming. Right. Uh, the key factor I believe is that the how to based on the industry in which we have to adopt the right solution as well as we have to adopt that solution rightly also. That it should not be happening that just for the sake of adopting a new thing is coming, you adopt it. But we have to see in which industry we are. So as far as our business is concerned, if you see, we are on the journey. We are adopting a lot of cloud-based solutions. SaaS helps a lot. A lot of applications are being developed in the industry which are cloud native, which are of great value, which help us a lot. So increasing our productivity. Then IoT solutions help us to monitor our plants well, particularly solar power plants which are at very remote locations. And then we have adopted AI enabled chatbots, and we are in the process of this predictive making the predictive platforms more accurate. And I strongly believe that LLMs like chatbots and the chat GPT and all, or the that part and all that will and solutions like based on LLMs will help us a lot in future in terms of making it very very easy for the our own internal customers which are in the company to serve them much better in a much better way in terms of giving them insight into the data which is available. So these are the key focus areas which will help us to improve agility. It will help us to better information availability.
Okay. So basically, with the amount of transformation along with the technological advancement we are seeing, this scenario is looming ahead, is in short.
Right.
So, what in its own would be the outlook for the power industry, and what are those technologies or what you think or will be crucial for the growth of this sector?
Yes, our industry, if you see, is on very upward this path now, and as the GDP is growing, you have to have energy. You have to ensure that there is means a lot of energy is available to use so that it helps in GDP growth. Because if industries can't run, it will be difficult to uh, grow. So for running the industries, you need energy. So there is a lot of focus, and the future of power industry is very very bright. And the techniques which I believe which will help in the growth of the power sector will be like things like advanced metering infrastructure, means smart meters and all, which will help to streamline the distribution, and then automation solutions in the distribution. This uh, those will also help because a lot of solutions which are coming to make it more optimum to improve the productivity of the distribution network. Then IoT has a very means use high use base in case of uh, whether you can take it solar or wind. So IoT will help to monitor the parameters in a much better way, and so that you can take actions, analytics based on top of the information which is available through this. Then on top of analytics, then comes the artificial intelligence, right? Which will help us to analyze the data in a much better way as compared to the traditional means of analyzing data. Earlier, you used to have only charts and what we call dashboards and all. But AI will enable to look at the data in a more accurately to give you the models, which will help you to predict the demand and supply much better. Smart grids will help energy solutions, better property solutions. All these technologies will help us to reduce cost, to improve operational efficiencies, and means to improve the supply chain. So all these technologies, I think, will be in focus, which will help the power sector to do.
The overall, it will definitely help in making the right decision at the right time and using the right technologies that is required.
Right. So
Yeah.
yes, because see, you can't adopt everything in the
Uh,
industry. You have to look at what solution suits the industry where you in which you are.
Absolutely. Thank you. With this, we come to the entire end of the discussion. And it was a great insight that you had shared with us, basically, the audience. Thank you for sharing your time with us.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me on your prestigious channel. Thank you very much. Thank you.
For more updates from CXO TV, please like and subscribe to our channel.